Hey, what's up, guys? I am back in Florida, St. Petersburg to be specific. This is going to be a random one. I have so many thoughts going through my head since coming back to the US, and I was in Canada for a couple of weeks before coming down here. I shot some footage there with my brother, sister-in-law, niece, and nephew. Didn't end up completing any kind of vlog whatsoever, but made some attempts. Let me flash back to some of these attempts. Pretty hilarious. And then we'll jump back here to St. Pete.
Dad, shut up. He's making the intro.
Hey guys. What's up, guys? I'm in Canada with my family, finally.
Oh, she doesn't want to be on my vlog.
And that's her husband, my bro. That's the Rye guy.
No!
Anyways, I'm gonna vlog here in Canada for the next little bit. And she's gonna be the star.
No!
Sienna.
No! I look terrible.
And this is my nephew, Cruz. What's up, buddy?
No.
There you go.
What's up, guys? Welcome back.
Keep going.
No.
Doing good. No, this is going in. All right, and we got Julia. Oh my God, she's the grumpiest family. Ryan, can you demonstrate some happiness here?
Hello, Chad.
Good. Hey, everybody. Hey, what's up? Chad here, and Sienna, my niece, sitting on the porch. That's my nephew, Cruz. He's cruising around. Oh, yes, I got it on camera. This is my niece, Sienna. She's choking on cereal. This is the best intro. Yo! And boom, back in St. Pete. Guys, miss you already. What an awesome time up there with family. All right, we're mixing it up. I want to get out of the house and go down to the pier. I'm gonna hop on the bike and give you guys like a really quick tour of my usual bike route here in St. Pete. And we're gonna sit and talk. I'm gonna reflect on why the heck did I go to the Philippines for 8 months in the first place, and why I'm itching to get back there. There's a lot of pros to being back here in St. Pete, I'm not gonna lie, but there's a lot to talk about on what is driving me to figure out a way to get back there as soon as possible. Let's go. Coming through. All right, guys, there you have it. There's a little mini tour of St. Pete along the water, biking from my house to the pier. So much that I, could have checked out along the way. So we just got a little taste of what St. Pete has to offer. It's an awesome city. If you've never been to St. Pete, if you guys are, from the US and want to check it out, it's definitely worth it. You got your downtown, you got your waterfront parks, you got bike paths, running paths, tons of outdoor stuff going on. I'm going to do future videos that show more of it, but the rest of the downtown core, restaurants and nightlife, and you have a street called Central that basically takes you from downtown all the way across to the beach. And along the way, there's tons of breweries and just so much going on. Man, this area has done an incredible job over the last 10 years. Tampa as well, the whole Tampa Bay area. But as you keep going across the peninsula, then you have all the Gulf Coast beaches, which are world-class beaches. The sand, it's talcum powder, soft white sand, and the stretch, it just goes on for miles. There's so many beaches and little beach towns and communities. It's awesome, no question about it. So, that brings me to what I wanted to talk about here. I wanted to kind of reflect a little bit on my trip. I just spent 8 months in the Philippines, and the whole time I was there, it was kind of like an experiment. I'm looking around thinking, could I spend more of my life here? Could I maybe retire here one day? Is this a place that I, want to come back to after my 8-month trip is up? And the answer is mostly yes, for sure. But it makes me wonder, like coming back here, I do live in this awesome place. People come here from all over the country and they try to, move here to live here, for the weather and the lifestyle and things like that. So, I do have it good here, but that brings me to, the point that I wanted to talk about. Like, why is it that I was so drawn to get out of here and go over to the Philippines and not just go for a month for a vacation, but I wanted to spend a long time as if I was living there to kind of see, like, what is life like there? Is this a place that I could come back to and spend extended amounts of time, maybe eventually retire there? There's certainly a movement of people from the West that want to go out there. And I wanted to see what it was all about. But there's some main reasons. As much as the setup here is so great for me, there's some key things that I think come into play that perhaps outweigh the pros. And I'm in a evaluating stage. I just got back, and it's part of what I want to do over the next little bit of time is really kind of see, like, what is right for me. I'll say it right off the bat. There's no question I'm going back to the Philippines. But as far as like long term, like what is my plan? So there's some key things that sort of push me out the door that I was tired of. Number one, the dating here in the West is, in my opinion, it's gone down the drain. I think it's really bad. I don't want to make this video like in depth about that. I want to make future videos that kind of talk about that and kind of compare the dating here to what it was like in the Philippines. But I just want to point out that was a huge determining factor for me as far as wanting to get out of here and just see what it was like in the Philippines, and just see if I could meet someone and see what might come of that. And without a doubt, like after coming back here and catching up with friends and kind of hearing their stories about dating in the last year, it's the same stuff. I mean, I don't miss that. And for me, I do want to meet someone, and I see myself settling with someone. And it doesn't mean settling to where I'm not traveling and stuff like that. I would love to meet someone that I can travel with. But man, just coming back here, it's like I have no motivation to meet anybody here. I don't know. Future videos, we'll talk more details about that. But that was number one. Definitely wanted to see what dating was like and potentially find somebody in the Philippines. Did not meet anyone that I'm in a relationship with right now, but I have quite a bit of experience just through the whole thing of being online and going on dates, and of course being in a relationship and just kind of learning the ins and outs of that. All right, so moving on, this is number two, and I wouldn't even say this is like 1B. These are the two things that made me want to go to the Philippines: cost of living and the kind of lifestyle that you can have when your cost of living goes significantly down. So I knew that obviously it was cheaper in the Philippines, and I wanted to get out there and just kind of see how much I can, like what kind of lifestyle I can have in the Philippines with my somewhat limited income. I'm gonna make a video that talks a little bit more about that and like how I made it happen, how I was able to travel for 8 months. But in a nutshell, I saved some money up, but I also have 2 rental properties, and then this YouTube channel ended up getting monetized while it was gone. It's not a ton of income, but that's a little bit too. So the US dollar just goes far there, and everything in the US has gotten so crazy expensive. Real estate's crazy expensive, just going out, eating and entertainment, and going to the grocery store, just like basic needs, everything is expensive. Your healthcare here is ridiculously expensive. So that's number 2 for sure. The Philippines offers so much, as far as those benefits. And, to be there for 8 months and do everything that I did, and, island hopping and, doing tours and just doing so many different things that I've made videos on over the last 8 months. And I did it on a budget that I got to figure out what my budget was, but it was around $2,500 a month, give or take. Some months were higher, some months were lower. Considering how I traveled, I definitely didn't go 5-star resorts the whole time, but I balanced that out pretty good. And I was comfortable, stayed in decent places, did whatever I wanted to, went on tours, traveled with someone for a good chunk of time. To be able to do that at a moderate budget is it's incredible. And that is a huge draw to, spending more time out in the Philippines. The third thing I'd have to say played a part in it is just culturally here in the US, it's gotten a little out of hand over the last several years. It's kind of turned into a bit of a, not across the board, but there is a definite hate culture in the US. There's no question about it. Things have become so pushed from the far left to the far right, and everyone is against each other, and everyone is on one side or the other. And you definitely notice it. I noticed it right when I got back, just conversations that come up, even in Canada, with conversations with family and stuff, it's talked about. And when I was in the Philippines, there was just no conversations about anything like that. No one talked politics, no one talked anything. I just felt overall, it was a much more positive, laid back vibe in the Philippines. Like the Filipino people, I can't obviously speak for Filipino people, but I did not see anything along those lines as far as bringing up politics, bringing up anything us against them BS. And as far as the foreigners that I met, it never came up in conversation. I don't think people leave the US and go over there, probably a lot of them just to forget about all that crap and to focus on other things. So as much as I probably met a ton of foreigners that were on one far side or the other, no one cared. No one talked about it. So that was awesome. I really did not miss any of that. I did not pay attention to any of that when I was gone. So nice to not have anything to do with that in the Philippines. So that certainly plays a part in me considering more time and potentially retiring or just living abroad. The fourth thing is burnout. I mean, that might even be number one. Burnout applies to a lot of things. I was burnt out of the dating here, but definitely burnt out of, the grind. And the mentality here is definitely focused more on, achieving, career goals. And I'm not speaking against this, obviously, because I benefited from that. I was able to, work hard, and I went back to school and started a new career. I was able to save and, get a house and build a second house. And it's allowing me to do this traveling and stuff like that. But man, the burnout to get to the point where I'm at now is just severe. And I feel like if you're at a point where you have worked hard and you have achieved the level of finances that allow you to go to the Philippines and maybe retire to spend an extended amount of time, that's what it's all about. You can go there and your hard-earned money and savings and whatever income you have, it goes so far there. So for me, burnout was alleviated immediately. Like as soon as I got there and I started this new, chapter of living in the Philippines, I felt so freaking good to be away from it. I mean, even just being away from my house, as nice as it is to have a house and have the comfort, man, your mind just goes to things like, I got to do this, I got to do that, I want to update this, or I got to fix that. Man, just to be on the road and traveling and not having to worry about that was freaking amazing. So anyways, just to kind of recap, dating, huge issue here for me in the US. Like I don't see myself meeting someone here. I've honestly gotten to that point where I'm like, this is not the place where I'm going to meet my future wife. And I do feel strongly that after spending 8 months there and seeing the potential for like a really high quality relationship that I think a lot of guys are seeking, I do feel, as much as there's cons to dating there too, the pros outweigh them by far. And that is still my thinking, that I do want to meet someone over there and see what happens. So the plan is definitely to get back there, and I'll be documenting that and talking about that subject a lot on this channel for sure, because it's something that I think about quite a bit. And then cost of living, it's an obvious thing. It's cheaper over there, and your lifestyle can improve and your money goes further. So no question, that's a big one. Hate culture, biggie, and just not wanting to get burnt out again. And so that's what I'm going to spend the next couple of months on, is just sort of reflecting on everything and building my savings back up and figuring out how I can pull this off to get back there as soon as possible and start traveling again. And I'll be updating you guys in videos along the way. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, I'm going to be making a ton of videos that go into detail about everything about the Philippines that I've learned over the course of 8 months over there. Lots about like dating and relationships. I'm going to be like comparing and contrasting life here to there, and just anything that I can think about. It's going to be hopefully relatable to people that want to travel there, maybe retire there, and are just maybe tired of things here in the US. I'm going to be making as much content as I can while I'm here until I go back out to the Philippines and pick up where I left off. So anyways, thanks for watching this one. Stay tuned for the next.